you achieve your goals. Call me, Merle Miller, at 319-354-6506, extension 1, or visit us online at HawkeyeBrokerage.com.
Securities and investment advisory services offered solely through Emeritus Investment Corporation, AIC. Member FINRA SIPC. Merle Miller and AIC do not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney regarding your situation.
Back in 1947, when young Willa Dickens began as a watchmaker at Harty and Stocker Jewelers, the sparse utility of the war years was ready to give way to the cheer of color in fashion, furniture, and of course, jewelry. Women from Hollywood starlet to housewife glowed with colored gemstones on ear, neck, and hand. Ruby red and emerald green, blue sapphire, purple amethyst, topaz, citron, aquamarine. Often these beauties were received happily in a Harty and Stocker box. Now, as in those distant days, colored gemstones are again bringing cheer and joy. So come see what's sparkling in those famous windows at Harty and Stocker Jewelers, corner of Dubuque and Washington in downtown Iowa City. Then step inside and say hi to Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of them is always there.
Hi, this is Ryan Baker, owner of World of Bikes. Whether you're riding across town or across the country, our staff is ready to help you with all your cycling needs. People love the atmosphere at World of Bikes. From new bikes and accessories to bicycle service to rentals, we can help you out. Stop by World of Bikes today to see why we were picked as best bike shop in America. World of Bikes, 723 South Gilbert Street in Iowa City. Cyclists serving cyclists since 1974.
The Sycamore Mall is now the Iowa City Marketplace, home of Lucky's Market, and now the home of Joann Fabrics. You'll shop the largest assortment of fabric, sewing, quilting, scrapbooking, knitting, crochet, jewelry, and other crafts. Joann Fabrics now open. And be sure to visit Four Seasons' new location near Panera and check out their great selection of Hallmark cards. See McDonald Optical's new space across from Four Seasons and taste the deliciousness of Rolly Pop. The Iowa City Marketplace is Iowa City's lifestyle center and getting better by the day. You'll always love the restaurants, the movie theaters, and the shopping. The Sycamore Mall is now the Iowa City Marketplace. Joann Fabrics now open at the Iowa City Marketplace, Sycamore Mall.
Hello, this is State Senator Kevin Kinney. Our local communities should always come first, ahead of partisan politics and special interests. In the Iowa Senate, I worked across the aisle to improve public safety and stand up for our local farmers. I want to continue working to make sure every Iowan has a good quality of life. I'm Kevin Kinney, and I'm asking for your vote for the Iowa Senate. If you have any questions, call me at 319-631-4667. Thank you. Paid for by Kevin Kinney for State Senate.
From the Harty and Stocker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Here is your KCJJ forecast today. Sunshine, 52 for a high this afternoon. The wind will be northwest at about 10 to 20 here for you today. Tonight, mostly clear, down to 34. Tomorrow, sunshine, 58. On Friday, maybe a sprinkle or two in the morning, then partly cloudy with a high near 60. The weekend will be sunny with highs in the mid-50s Saturday, right around 50 on Sunday, and we're going to keep the dry weather rolling right on into next week. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. The temperature now, 38.
Weather brought to you by the Westport Touchless Auto Washes at Walmart in Iowa City, Coralville's High V. AllHawkeyes.com. Brought to you by Active Endeavors downtown. Active Endeavors. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. Hit a deer, call Premier. Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Steve Anderson and his crew. Mike's Lock and E-Keys for cars. He does good work. GT Car and his crew, they do good work at Supple Siding and Remodeling. Sittler's LED Supplies. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Oxyokin. Zephyr's Printing and Design and Imprinted Ink on the Ped Mall. And Big Dog TV and Internet. Serving all of eastern Iowa with Dish, DirecTV, Internet, and more. Don't call an 800 number. Call local. Call Kevin. Call Big Dog at 338-6600. From allhawkeyes.com, here's Pat Harty.
Morning, Pat.
Good morning.
Hey, I got something fun here for you. A listener came in and gave this because it's some stuff from when your brother played for Iowa. And also I noticed something fun.
My brother's not John, you know.
Right.
Frank never played. He got hurt.
May have been when he was
never
on
mind.
may have been when he was on the roster, but
you're right. This is Sioux City Healet.
Yeah, no, that's John was a year ahead of Frank.
All right.
Frank came in the fall of '78, redshirted, and then in the spring of '79, after spring ball, he went to get a bone chip taken out of his knee, and then he got staph infection. I think at that time he was number 2 on the depth chart behind Mill Cole at middle linebacker, or one of the linebacker spots. And Mill Cole, as you know, would go on to be a 3-year starter. They were the same grade, what have you. So, yeah, no, Frank never – now, was he on the roster then? What year was that?
No, he's not. This is but I don't know, 19 –
Because he's in the – I've got actually a couple game programs from the '78 season, his true freshman year, where – he's pictured in there. You know how they show all the profiles of all the players? He's in that, but that's the only. He never got a chance to play in a game.
Okay, this looks like 77.
Yeah, that was his senior year of high school.
Okay, but
but he played against John Harty. They knew each other because Dowling and Heelan used to play in the playoffs a lot, and they'd always start the season by playing against each other. And John was a year ahead of my brother, and John played for some of the best high school teams in Iowa I've ever seen. I mean, the quarterback went to Notre Dame. I mean, they had 3 or 4 high-end Division I players, and my brother said John Harty was maybe the most talented football player he ever played with. Just said he didn't work at it real hard. He was just so gifted.
And there's an offensive guard named Greg Gilbaugh.
That name sounds familiar.
My niece Katie married Greg Gilbaugh's son.
Okay. What year was he in there?
Freshman.
Okay, because I think so. He would have been a year ahead of my brother. I think my brother knew him. That name just sounds. My brother was really good friends with Todd Simonson. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh my God, yes.
God rest his soul.
Simo used to follow our band around.
Yeah, he is. God rest his soul. They were roommates. Todd was in his wedding, and Todd died. What? God, it's maybe 10 years ago. I believe it was Hodgkin. I think it was Hodgkin's lymphoma, something like that. God, he was such a great guy. But yeah, that was Frank's roommate his freshman year.
I was put in we were in the uncomfortable position of having to boot Simo off the stage.
Did you fight him?
No, but he came up on stage and was playing the tambourine and was kind of sort of in the way. We had to...
How did you convince him?
He
actually was one of the nicest guys.
I loved Simon.
Thank God, because he could have wreaked havoc if he wanted to.
And I played softball with him for a number of years. No, just the best guy ever. I think Billy was instrumental in getting Simo off.
What I remember about Simo was, when I was young, 8th grade, my brother was always one of the bigger, and he was the best guy on his high school football team. But you get to Iowa, even though I know they sucked then, they weren't very good. But I meet this, all of a sudden I walk into his dorm room and meet his roommate as a freshman. I'm like, God, look, Todd had the biggest legs.
Oh,
and I remember my brother saying to my dad, he goes, my God, because my brother was tall and skinny. He was 6'4", maybe 205 when he got to Iowa. Todd was 6'3", 235, just perfectly sculpted. I mean, he came on that campus ready to play middle linebacker. And he was just, my brother was amazed at just what physical gifts he had, because he didn't lift a ton of weights before he got to Iowa. My brother did lift. My brother was a little ahead of his time. He and my dad lifted a ton of weights back when nobody did. I mean, I never got into it. I just never, I wished I would have. Now, the sports that my brother did it because he wanted to get a football scholarship. He didn't play nothing else in high school. I mean, by the time he was a junior in high school, he played one sport, and that was to get a football scholarship.
And how big was your brother?
When he signed with Iowa, he was a 6'4", probably 210-pound defensive lineman. They right away moved him to defensive end. Then they moved him to linebacker. His biggest weight, I think, at Iowa, he got to be about 6'4", 240, 245 before he got hurt. And that's what he was a big linebacker.
Yeah.
And he was doing that between that and defensive end. So, but yeah, seeing John Harty, that brings back a lot of memories. And John Harty was really good. And if you remember, John Harty went and played in the NFL for 8-9 years and was really good in the NFL. He was just a really good football player. But yeah, thinking of Todd Simonson, that was sad. I remember talking to my brother. I've never seen my brother cry very much, but I didn't see him, but he was on the phone, and he was crying the day it finally came, and it hit him really hard because Todd was a really good guy.
Well,
I'll have to bring in the wedding, my brother's wedding. There's a picture of my brother, and there's Simo and wearing those old Skeffingtons. God, what were they? I think we may have worn like light blue Skeffington's tuxedos with those big ruffles back then.
Sure.
Yeah, so
they were that was the vogue.
Oh yeah, that was definitely. And I heard I heard you talking Skeffington's has.
Maybe I can buy one of those. Get one of those ruffled blue.
Skeffington's has multicolored suits.
Like checkered suits, like
no,
like they were on Hero.
Like gray, brown, blue. At least the last time I checked, they did. Maybe I could be speaking out of line. Maybe they've discontinued. But I own one suit.
I never thought it.
I own one suit. My parents got it for me years ago. I can't remember the last time I wore it. Anytime I need something now, I just go and get their black business suit or something like that because they've got ties and.
I bought one when my dad was inducted to I think it's the varsity club, or they have that event, and my mom had to accept the award for him. This was probably 12, 15 years ago.
You got a suit from Skeffington's?
God, has it?
No, I bought it.
I remember.
Rimmers, I think.
I remember
actually.
that.
Yeah.
I remember that. I've got two suits. One from 1969. It was a mohair with a Nehru collar.
Do you still wear that?
On my arm. How did he die?
Todd?
Yeah.
So he had Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah.
I mean, it was some form of cancer. Just sad. Because
really was.
He was a coach, and he just was a nice guy, and and it just was just unfortunate. But he got to be a part of my brother's class got there in 78. Todd did not redshirt. He played right away, 78, 79, 80, 81. So he went from being on that team in 78 that was terrible, and then they won the Rose Bowl his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so, yeah, my brothers, and that's one thing I know it bugs my brother, probably some. I don't talk to him about it much, but his class was a part of the major rebuild under Hayden Fry, and he never got a chance to do it because of the stinking staph.
And that is too bad.
It's because of staph infection. Yeah, now he limps, and it changed the whole course of his life. I mean, he was able to do all right. I mean, he makes.
Now, did Brian Ferentz also have a staph infection?
Yes, very similar.
Yeah.
Yep. What my brother say to me one time, he makes more in a hiccup than I make during a year. He told me that one. That's mean.
That's harsh. That's very harsh.
It's pretty mean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he knows your guys' track record. He knows running my website. He's like, no. I just thought that was mean.
I've been walking around pissed off all week when I found out Kushner didn't pay any taxes.
I don't like hearing stuff like that. I borrowed money from my.
It's BS.
I borrowed money from myself once this year, just because fortunately I can right now at this stage, and I had to pay 30% taxes on it. And
it's ridiculous.
Because then I asked my financial guy, I'm like, why? He goes, well, because if you don't, when we show it on paperwork, they'll be like, hey, here's $3,000 that offsets a lot of your expenses. Mm-hmm. You're going to owe that, and that's what's frustrating. And
then these guys walk, and it's not even political. I'm not. It's just.
Well, both sides cheat on taxes.
Yeah, they're all just full of crap.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I borrow $10,000 for myself,
but
right away I have to give the government.
It's not cheating because they've made laws that make it legal for them to do it.
Well, why can't I get it? Why isn't there a law for me to do it?
Because
you don't have enough money.
Yeah, they don't care about you. It's like, they're bitching, about entitlements. That's the reason the deficit. It isn't the big tax breaks going from 35 to 21 for the corporations. It's our entitlements.
So what if I borrowed like 150 from myself? Or are we talking you have to borrow like 10 million? Are you talking like 10 million? Or?
I mean, these people are loaded, okay?
Yeah, 10 million's chump change.
Well, yeah, and, whatever. Let's get back to...
They don't even play the lottery. They don't... It's too small for them. I got a ticket, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it the biggest one ever? I think. When do they draw it?
Tonight at 9:55.
I may buy one. I bought in like 3 lottery tickets.
I thought it was last night and nobody won.
That was Mega Millions. Powerball's up there. It's like
Powerball's tonight.
Yeah.
I really like my chances if I buy one this time. I did. I liked them the last time, and I didn't.
Pat, if you execute properly, and if you've had a good week of practice, then I like your chances.
And if I did win, no, I would not be in on Friday. Oh yeah, I would. I'd come in to gloat.
Well, that's half the fun of winning.
I'd come in to gloat.
That's the gloat.
How much you want for this thing, Bridges?
Let's see. I got that in my right pocket, but I don't think I'm going to do it. No, with that money, you could buy every radio station around here.
And you could tell Steve I make more money in a hiccup than you do in a year.
What do you think of that?
That's pretty good. It's mean. That would be something I'd expect the caller to say.
Well, give it time. Our calls on this show usually don't start until really in earnest till about 10 o'clock. Have you noticed that?
No, that's right.
But I don't know if it's when people take breaks or what have you, but we haven't even talked about the Hawkeyes yet. We've already killed 16 minutes.
Or the people that call in sleep late because they don't work.
That is
God,
great.
that would be good.
What did you say when he said that?
I don't remember. It was so I just.
I
think I said at least I'm
great.
I said at least I'm happy or something like that. And he's good thing he does make that kind of money. You know why? Because he needs it. Because unlike me, he's got a lot of hands.
Oh yeah, the more you make, the more.
Well, he's got tons of family, and he's just hey, I need stuff, Dad.
That's the greatest line.
I need stuff.
That made my morning. Seriously. Hello.
Hey, is it going to be a sellout this weekend?
The last I heard,
down to single
tickets. So I'm thinking by the time the game does start, it'll be a sellout, or hard to tell that it's not a sellout.
And is it 11 o'clock game?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
You bet. That'll segue us right into the game.
Yeah. Which I'm going to miss.
Oh, that's right. Wedding,
go
right?
Go on, buy a suit.
So will you even be able to watch the game? Or will you,
I hope so.
Do you have your cell phone just...
If I have to, I'll follow along on my phone. You bet.
What if all of a sudden you follow and you look and they're down 24-0 in the second quarter?
Then I will stop paying attention and I'll look at it about 45 minutes later to see if there's a change.
Would you let your mood affect the wedding?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, would you turn snotty and...
Is there anyone that feels this couple should not? Suter jumps on.
Yeah, the effing Hawks.
Hello.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey. Good morning.
How much would it cost to buy KGYM, or would they pay you?
Jesus. I have no idea. I don't know the cost of radio stations.
I just had to get in.
I know.
Thank you.
Feed that narrative. No, you couldn't just. Now we're on the subject. You couldn't just buy that by it's part of something, right? If you're buying that, you're buying.
Well, it depends on if they sell it off separately.
Oh, you could do. You can. I guess you could sell stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's radio station prices or something. I mean, how do you determine radio station prices? Who determines them? The
Billing, Goodwill,
Goodwill,
Signal strength.
Yeah, what's Goodwill?
Market. What you've done.
What you've done to help the community.
What you've done to build the station in the community.
I see what you mean. All right. Yeah. So, all right, back to Saturday, 11 o'clock.
I don't know if our hotel's going to have ESPN2 or not. Many of them do. Some of them don't.
You can get DirecTV on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It is on ESPN2.
Yeah.
I forgot. I thought it was on the Big Ten Network. I'm so bad.
Hello.
Now, when that running back decided to leave, that I think he's a true freshman or something.
Keyshawn Bryan?
Yeah, do they immediately offer it to? Do they bank that, or do they give it to someone to a walk-on?
Well, I think at the time when he left, I don't know if they could do that then. I think they do that stuff at the beginning and at the end of semesters. But his is weird though because he didn't report for fall camp. He wasn't one of the 105. Kirk told us that he wasn't reporting that they would have a decision after the bye week. I wonder if something was already in the works back then, scholarship-wise, to where maybe they did reward it to somebody inside or what have you. But as far as them right away turning around and getting a running back and recruiting, they didn't necessarily do that. I don't think it was anything that drastic, but it may have led to somebody getting a scholarship for this football season. So because they did announce that four new guys were on scholarship. So it was just weird. You rarely see a kid leave a team 4 weeks into a season. So it makes me wonder if maybe the paperwork and stuff was done a long time ago. They just wanted to announce. I don't know. It's just a kind of a strange occurrence.
Yeah, and another question. Do you think there's a chance that both of our tight ends are going to be gone after this year?
I don't think so, but I never expected T.J. Hawkinson to be on course for 750, 800 receiving yards. And I mean, I saw AP did their midseason team, and Noah Fant was second team, and I said to myself, geez, TJ must have been first team. And he wasn't, of course. But there's always that chance because I do think Noah's gone. But I don't know. TJ, 3 years out, didn't play his first year as a red shirt, but it's definitely a question worth asking about him, worth asking about Nate Stanley, and probably maybe Anthony Nilsson, too, if he continues to play, because he's a fourth-year junior. He'll have his degree, and that's a lot different. So, yeah, no, I think it's a question that's worth asking.
Yeah, and also Drew Cook, someone mentioned that he got into the game against Minnesota.
He did not.
I don't remember that.
That was John Milani, ironically, a West High graduate who also wears number 18. He is a walk-on defensive back from Iowa City West. That's who was in on special teams.
Has Cook seen the field at all this year?
I think, didn't they?
I thought on special teams.
Not on special teams, but I thought, he had a key block in the Minnesota game that scored Mekhi Sargent's last touchdown there late in the fourth quarter, and I thought he got in maybe earlier.
I think you're right.
Against either Northern Iowa or Northern Illinois, but no, I know he definitely was in and did have a nice block on Mekhi Sargent's touchdown run against Minnesota.
And last one, what's your prediction for Minnesota-Nebraska? How bad will it get?
I think Nebraska's going to win.
I
know people think I'm nuts. I think they're going to win their next two games.
Me too.
I mean,
they better win the one after that.
Now, is it in Lincoln? Is the game in Lincoln?
I think so.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I do. If it was in Minneapolis, I would give Minnesota a much better chance. But Minnesota's not very good, and Minnesota's injured. If they had their top running back, but no, Nebraska's going to beat somebody, and I think this is it. And I think with Bethune-Cookman next, they'll have a 2-game winning streak, and then the Nebraska fans will start saying, hey, we are still not mathematically eliminated from a bowl game.
Well, Nebraska should have won last week.
They should have.
We've turned the table.
Yep, you'll be a lot of that. But no, I do think they're going to win this weekend.
And Kirk Herbstreit before last week predicted that Nebraska would win their last 6 games. What is he smoking?
Well, Tom, you're the former band member. What was he smoking?
God, I've never had anything that good.
There you go. I mean, I did not realize he said that. How do you say that about a team that's 0-6?
So you think
they're going to beat Iowa?
So they're going to beat at Ohio State, and they're going to beat Michigan State at home, and they're going to beat at Iowa. Sure, Herbie.
Did he really say that?
That can't be right.
Yeah, he did. He did say that.
Wow.
Was he joking?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. But why would he?
Why would you joke?
Why would he
I would take Herbie up on that bet.
Oh my God,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're not going to beat Iowa here. I'm saying it. They're not going to beat Iowa here.
And they're not going to beat Ohio State and Columbus.
No, they're definitely not going to. Yeah.
I predict a double overtime loss at home against Bethune-Cookman to go 0-8.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you something. If Bethune-Cookman beats them,
we'll have somebody in from that school the next week.
We will give away $200 on this program if Bethune-Cookman beats them.
To who? To what?
Beats them.
To Nebraska football?
Caller at random.
Oh, you mean...
Just to celebrate. Why, are you looking at me like... You don't think that they can beat.
No, he's like, well, there goes Podasky's paycheck for the week.
You're going to tell Jan we can't buy the kitchen table, because I have to give it to a random fan.
If God is listening to, there's corporation money in our money.
Well, yes.
Even though we're paying for corporation. But, no, you don't, is there a doubt in your...
Could you imagine if that happened, though? They lose in double overtime to go 0-8?
They're not going to lose to Bethune-Cookman, no.
That'd be the greatest day ever.
It would be interesting.
I'm sorry. That'd be the greatest day ever. Drinks on the house.
Yeah, I don't think Minnesota is going to do anything this weekend.
No, I think
Nebraska wins.
I think
solidly.
Martinez is going to have 300. He's really good.
He is.
I mean, the one thing lost in their ineptitude is the fact that they have a really good quarterback. He is really good.
Yeah, and here's the question: would you say I'll accept a loss at Penn State for a Bethune-Cookman win in Lincoln? What do you think?
No.
How about all right? How about a loss at Purdue?
No.
See, that Purdue worries me as much or more than Penn State in a way. I don't know why.
Yeah, me too.
But either way, I mean, good questions, caller.
Well, going into the season, I had us losing both of those. So
I did too.
But I don't. As the season's played out, who knows? Penn State does not look as good.
No, and Purdue looks maybe right now a little better than I thought they were going to be after earlier in the year. But I also had Iowa losing to Northwestern. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to beat Northwestern.
Hello.
I'm ready to take my 8-4 and go 9-3, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yep. Homer. All right. Hello, you're on the auction.
Pat Listicow, everybody.
Hey, it's Chris in New York.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Herbie absolutely meant it on game day on Saturday.
That's
and
just
the amount
moron.
of ball washing that was going on game day and on ABC was ridiculous.
Was he trying to get Ohio State mad?
I don't know, but they had a big feature on game day in the morning about Nebraska football and being 0-6. Tom Rinaldi interviewed Scott Frost, and it wasn't like sad piano music.
No, but Rinaldi does all those touching human people.
Yeah, it was like some kind of like they played like the kind of like low like violin music, like you were supposed to kind of feel sorry for the adversity they've been through, like a little bit of that.
Nothing more than feeling.
Yeah, and then Frost was actually continuing to throw people under the bus. So he called out his players multiple weeks in a row to no effect. Then this week on the show, he said that more players will probably leave the program, and that's a good thing, basically.
Well, he threw his defensive coordinator under the bus.
And that's a not former Iowa player.
Yeah.
Eric Chenander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Hawkeye. But basically, they did this whole piece on Nebraska, and then Herbie came out and said they're going to win today, and then they're going to a bowl game, which means they were going to win every game, presumably every game but Ohio State. And now they would of course have to beat Ohio State too, which isn't happening.
I will be stunned if they beat Iowa here, and disappointed. And
God,
tell me why that game was the featured game on ABC in the afternoon.
Scott Frost. I think they wanted to get their big Scott Frost piece in, and I think they're taking advantage of adversity. Because face it, a lot of people are talking about Nebraska now. If 2 weeks from now, if Nebraska's 2-6, not as many people will be talking about
Nebraska. It's not as interesting.
No, it's not as interesting. Now, if they go 3-6, then you're starting to say to yourself, "Wow!" But if they win at home against a terrible Minnesota team and Bethune-Cookman, that will be a big news just because they won. But it won't be a continuing story. They have to keep winning.
I like Minnesota in that game. I disagree with you.
I wish you're right, but I don't
think Minnesota is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just think Nebraska has been so close, and I think they can score points. I think they will shred Minnesota's defense at times in that game.
Yeah, but losing is a disease.
Oh, it is.
Losing
It is
a disease, and they've lost 10 in a row. They're 0-6. Like they are finding ways to lose. Like last weekend, they were a better team than Northwestern, but they found a way to lose. I mean, they gave up a 99-yard drive. They blew it. I think it was a 10-point lead. Gave up a 99-yard drive, and then in the coach blew it in the overtime by taking that snap.
True. No, you're right. But
so
they're not going to get to 3-6.
I compare it to Iowa back when Kirk first got here in Hayden's year. Those 2 years carry over. Then Kirk lost, but eventually, I mean, everyone keeps saying, well, they've lost 10 games. Okay, they have, but you're combining a previous season to say that. These are separate teams.
I know.
Eventually, Kirk was in the same situation, but then they finally started they won those back-to-back games. I'm not saying that Nebraska is close to turning anything around, and I'm not really asking for much to beat a injured, bad Minnesota team at home in Bethune. That's all I'm saying I think they're going to do. I think they're going to go 2-10.
Yeah. Yeah,
Minnesota played Ohio State well. They did.
They gave Ohio State a run. They outrushed Ohio State. I think Ohio State was in danger in the game. I don't think Ohio State's that good, by the way.
Well, I think by Big Ten standards,
they're good enough to beat Nebraska at home, though.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll destroy Nebraska.
Yeah, that's why Nebraska ain't going to be 3-6.
Ohio State's a really good front runner under Urban Meyer. When they get ahead 21-0 and bad, they stomp on them. It seems like where Ohio State has trouble is when teams punch back, and that's where they seem to struggle. And sometimes they don't have an answer for that. And like I said, Nebraska. I enjoy making fun of them as much as anyone does, but this game to me has always been the one game because they're not going to go 0-12.
Yeah.
You know, I get
No, they're not going 0-12.
You think they're going 1-11?
I'm taking Minnesota. This weekend. Bethune-Cookman, they'll win. That's my prediction.
So you got Nebraska going 1-11?
I got them go 2-10. They'll beat Illinois.
And is that at Illinois? Is that at Illinois?
It's home game.
Yeah, I would pick them to beat Illinois too. I got them going 3-9.
Yeah, Illinois is awful.
Get this, and I can't take credit. The Hawkeye Nation guys brought this up on their podcast. But since Kirk Ferentz has become coach, so basically the last 20 years, only 2 coaches have ever gone have one win seasons and then won a conference championship afterwards. So Kirk Ferentz did it, right? He started 1-10 and won a conference championship. Only one other guy. That was Art Briles at Baylor, who had to cheat like crazy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
From the past 20 years, one guy. So Utah, or you know what? I think actually the stat was has started 0-6, not has won.
Yeah, I was going to say because I mean
only 0-6, only one. I know that's an obscure stat, but the point is when you start 0-6, when you're that bad in the first year, nobody recovers. And so, in other words, Scott Frost would have to be bucking some serious history to get to the championships that he wants to after starting this badly.
If you I watch Omaha TV, and then I watch, we've talked about me watching L.A. and Alford, and it's so night and day. Omaha, no matter how they lose, the TV anchors are still glowing.
Well, read the
about it.
newspaper. I mean, the newspaper's the same way.
I mean,
but I will say though, caller, I think Scott Frost has got more talent than Kirk Ferentz had when Kirk Ferentz didn't have an Adrian. Kirk Ferentz didn't have an Adrian Martinez. Adrian Martinez is really good. I mean, he's really good. I mean, he could start on a number of teams in the Big Ten. I think right now.
Yeah.
I think
it's hard to compare.
Reasonable.
I think it's hard to compare those two situations. But I mean, both programs are hurting. Nebraska's problem is though they've let themselves slip. Where I think we used to take for granted Nebraska on the interior line. They always had great offensive and defensive lines, and I'd still say Nebraska has as good or better receivers than Iowa.
I think their skill players are excellent. I think.
They don't have any linemen. That's
Zero.
where this thing fell apart, and that's where Scott Frost has got to rebuild it. And the one thing Frost has been a little bit of an Alfred. It seems like it's never him. He just loves to seize the camera and be like, "This is what's wrong, and I'm fixing it, and it's going to take getting rid of these people." Kirk did a lot of that when he took over, but he did it quietly. And he didn't. It just seems like this guy kind of likes to bask in the spotlight and everything, but who knows? I mean, we've spent more time.
Up.
Yeah, well, no, I agree. I mean, some of the stuff he has said this year is, I mean, those remarks about, well, you better beat us now because that, and then what else did he say? Oh, about not wanting to schedule a 12th game because, I mean, come on. I mean, seriously.
Oh, the AD said that the rest of the conference is going to have to adjust to Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, they're adjusting quite well.
Hey, one other comment. Can we talk about our other neighbors to the west, Iowa State? I got to say, very impressive victory on Saturday. Matt Campbell's getting it done over there. The dude should get paid. He's got now 3 top 10 wins.
It's incredible.
Guys turned it around. They're probably, whether it's them or Purdue, best 3-3 team in the country.
That's what I put on my Big Ten stand. I said that Purdue's the best 3-3 team east of Ames.
And I root for Iowa State. I know that very few Iowa State fans root for Iowa. They just can't get there. I root for
they
Iowa
should,
State
though. I mean, they should this year.
Strength of schedule.
They should, though, for Iowa. I mean, if Iowa goes 11-1, that makes their season look so much better.
And it makes us look better. It's a quality win.
It does.
Well, I went back and looked at the stats.
How many of those are there in the Big Ten?
I forgot how good their defense was against Iowa, but they shut Iowa down.
They played a good
Iowa
game.
had like 270 yards offense. I mean, they did nothing against Iowa State.
But I have a big but on this game, though. They won a big game, but what in the HE double hockey sticks are they doing wearing black uniforms? First of all, didn't that look like TCU? Those were TCU's uniforms, first of all. And then second of all, black is not one of your team colors. They're red and, cardinal and yellow. And thirdly, you do not wear the in-state rivals' colors.
I guess I hadn't thought about that.
Coming out in special red uniforms. I thought that was bad.
I guess I hadn't.
Their uniforms, I don't care.
I don't care about stuff. I mean, I just have never. I don't care when Iowa wears. I'm going to write a column about the things that I don't care about that most people do, and I'll tell you, uniforms are one of them, along with game day,
preseason polls,
and everything. But no, caller, I can see now that you've brought it up. I can see, but I guess I didn't give it 2 thoughts. I actually thought they looked kind of neat, but I didn't give a thought to. Oh my God, that's black.
All right.
I thought they looked cool.
But you don't want to wear Iowa's colors. I get you. No, I get it. I understand.
And it makes it perpetuates that little brother, inferiority complex narrative, and people are getting into it on Twitter, including myself.
Okay, but do you think there's a chance they did that without even giving 2 thoughts about what Iowa was supposed to do?
Absolutely.
There's that thought. I think Iowa fans helped to feed that little brother thing too.
Pom-pom.
I think Wisconsin
fans game, like you can't do that.
Well, that's the marketing department. Hey, we gotta
take our break.
Call here. We appreciate the call. We gotta make some money here, and
we gotta make some money.
Adam Haleska's going to tell us all about how.
Adam Haleska makes, what was the line again? More money in
a hiccup than we do in a whole year.
That's definitely not true. But if he does win tomorrow, he needs to give us a call first. Don't do anything rash until he gives us a call.
There you go.
Here's Adam Haleska, Wells Fargo Advisors with the markets.
Thanks, guys. Hey, everyone. Stocks finished firmly higher for the day on Tuesday. The Dow climbed 547 points and closed at 25,798. The S&P 500 gained 59 points to close at 2,809. And the Nasdaq Composite rallied 214 points yesterday to close at 7,645. Those major averages advanced, notching their best day since March amid a multitude of earnings reports. So the small cap stocks saw a boost, with the Russell 2000 advancing the most in nearly 2 years. On the data front, a report showed that industrial production rose 0.3% for the month of September, posting a fourth consecutive monthly increase. Separately, the jobs openings and labor turnover survey revealed that job openings hit a record 7.1 million for August. All 11 sectors in the S&P advanced, with tech shares surging more than 3%. In earnings, Goldman Sachs gained 3% yesterday, while Morgan Stanley rallied 5.7% after both firms topped analyst expectations. BlackRock fell 4.4% after missing consensus revenue estimates. Elsewhere, Johnson & Johnson rose 2% yesterday after reporting growth in both its pharmaceutical and consumer business units. Industrial supplier W.W. Grainger slid 12% yesterday after missing operating margin and sales projections. Looking at the market here today for Wednesday, October 17th, the averages are declining as market participants remain focused on a flurry of corporate profit tallies this morning. Right now, the Dow is down 215 points. S&P is down 16, and NASDAQ is currently down 36 points in trading this morning. All 11 sectors are trading in negative territory right now. Consumer discretionary shares are falling the most, with Lowe's off 3% and Home Depot down 3.3%. In earnings, Netflix is surging 7.3% this morning after topping consensus profit estimates and besting subscriber ad metrics. IBM is down nearly 7% after revenue missed analyst expectations for the first time in 3 quarters. And lastly here, United Continental is gaining 5.8% after the airline topped revenue estimates. Treasuries are a little changed, with the yield on the benchmark 10-year note down 1 basis point. That's at 3.15%. In commodities, crude is losing 1.4%. That's at $70.92 a barrel. And gold is down 0.1%, and that is trading at $12.27 an ounce. Once again, this has been Adam Haleska, Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. If you're in the Iowa City, Coralville area, we can be reached at 319-338-3799, or you can always come in and see us. Adam Haleska, Corey Urian, Ted Stolley, and Daryl Courtney. We're all at 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201, Coralville, Iowa.
We're as close as your smart device. Just ask Alexa to play KCJJ on TuneIn. Our video and audio streams are powered by Lucky's Market at the Iowa City Marketplace.
Here is your KCJJ forecast today. Sunshine 52 for a high this afternoon. The wind will be northwest at about 10 to 20 here for you today. Tonight, mostly clear, down to 34. Tomorrow, sunshine 58. On Friday, maybe a sprinkle or two in the morning, then partly cloudy with a high near 60. The weekend will be sunny with highs in the mid-50s Saturday, right around 50 on Sunday, and we're going to keep the dry weather rolling right on into next week. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. The temperature now, 38.
21 away from 10 o'clock, allhawkeyes.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made more in that last segment than you did hiccup or something. Yeah.
Did you ever? I remember as a kid watching Johnny Carson, and they had some old man on there that had the hiccups for like 36 years. Remember that?
Can you? Few things piss me off more than having the hiccups. I would so kill myself at some point.
Big fan of the station and Michael Mayer, David Page.
He had hiccups?
He had hiccups continually.
That would just be unbelievable.
I mean, for a couple years.
Yeah, and God rest his soul.
Because it's too much air getting into your diaphragm, isn't it?
I guess.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but what a nightmare that would be.
You keep thinking you're going to know when the next one's coming, and you never know when the next one's coming.
Except Oh.
Do we have a call?
Yes.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Pat.
Hello.
Wanted to invite you over to the Kinnick House for homecoming celebration. We got 199 coming, and you'd make 200, so that's a cap.
Okay.
And, we got a big day planned. We made a pinata last night, and we got a bracket open at halftime. It's in the form of a neighbor that was against the house. We couldn't decide what to put in it, so we filled it with ego and anger.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Captain's loving
that
it.
Is harsh.
Jesus Christ.
Look at him over there. He's just
extremely harsh.
You know, I would have really liked it with the Christians and the Lions.
Yes, you
to
would
be
have.
in the Coliseum,
Yes.
you know, until the end. Hello.
Hey, what did Coach McCaffrey say about Luka Garza recovery? Is he going to be full strength by the season?
That was the narrative on media day. I'm not sure how much they believed it at the time, but that's what they were saying. I've been told that he will. At media day he was shooting baskets and starting to jog. I've been told that he'll be ready by late November. I don't know if he's going to be there for that first game. That's what Luka said, but he had another key checkup that was coming up maybe right about now. Because he said it was going to be in 2 to 3 weeks, and that so. To me, it still remains to be seen. I think we're still too early in the healing process, but Luka was adamant that he's going to be ready for the first game on, November?
Well, there's an exhibition pretty early.
I'm not sure if he was talking exhibition or by that first regular season game. That's what he vowed to be ready by. We'll see. I've been told late November.
And if not, you think Kreiner will step in for added minutes, or will they go with a smaller lineup?
I think they might. Well, let's see. Cook. You're going to have Cook. You're going to have Mosh. You're going to have Bohannon. I think Weiskamp. I'm not sure where they go. I could see maybe going with a Penzel to go with Cook. I could see them going with a Nungy to go with Cook. They could
or Kreiner.
Kreiner. They could go any of those three options. To me, it'll have a lot to do with who the opponent is and who's been playing better in practice.
All right. I wish him well.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. But this is a big. When you think assist, you automatically. You exhale because it's not cancer or anything. When you think of cyst, it's something that could be removed. Now, this thing was big. It was 10 pounds, and it was in his tummy. Think about that.
And you wonder, could that have impacted him in any way?
Well, it set him back physically, development and everything, and there's a healing process with there's just a lot going on. But no, I don't think he's going to miss. As long as everything heals properly, he should be back by the time the season gets going. Whether it's for that first game, I can't pinpoint it that much.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Got a question about Iowa wide receivers.
Okay.
And I was thinking back to the time when I actually started paying attention to Iowa football was when I was about 7 years old. That was when, Matt Rogers and Nick Bell, guys like that were there.
God, I feel a little.
So I'm going off from about that time frame.
Okay, well,
but
you're young. You're young. You got your whole life in front of you. You're young. You're vibrant.
Yeah.
We're old and crusty here.
Yeah, stay off my lawn.
All right, go ahead.
Who do you think the two guys that I think have the highest, just flat out top end speed would be Tim Dwight or Damon Powell?
Oh yeah, I would agree. I'm trying to think of who else. James Townsend, but he didn't stay here long enough. Remember James Townsend?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was right there with both those guys. James Townsend could fly. He just was not a great receiver. But those three, clearly.
I think in my time, well, what I remember of him, and I think that and Greg Davis was offensive coordinator, and I know how everybody says about that.
I made the mistake of tweeting something. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Yeah. I thought, man, at a couple times a game, if I want to know the percentage, when Damon Powell touched the football, because he didn't get it very much, but when he did, he scored a lot when he touched the football. Did that seem like that to you guys?
Well, he did score. Not maybe as I don't have his stats in front. I guess we could. Tommy, look up Damon Powell, Iowa. I'm on the air. You're sitting there playing with yourself. Come on. You can help us. But no, I think
that's not my recollection.
But he did have some big plays. He averaged a lot of yards per catch, but I don't remember him scoring a lot of touchdowns. The first year, they barely used him. The second year,
I know
they used him a lot more. But But no, he was definitely one of the faster guys to play in Iowa in the time I was here. And go ahead.
I know there's like 3 plays that really stick out in my mind on him. That the one time against Minnesota, they threw him that screen pass, and I mean that dude was gone.
Yeah, he was. That was a good.
And then they never threw him the ball again.
Well, that was part of the storyline. Remember that was feeding the Ferentz doesn't play. I mean, he just holds certain players back. That went on during the 2 years Damon Powell was here, because when he did make big plays, they were so electrifying. People were like, we need more of that. And
as I recall, he had a lot of drops.
He had drops and he couldn't block.
Yeah.
He wasn't a complete player, but
he was fun though.
My thought is there was times he would just blow by defenders and Beathard and Rudock would underthrow him, or Rudock overthrew him one time against Nebraska and he was wide open.
What I would say right now is I think Brian Ferentz would do a better job of utilizing Damon Powell than what was done. And this is somebody, I'm not anti-Greg Davis. Like I said, I made the mistake of tweeting something. I tweeted that there's no way you can't give Greg Davis a little bit of credit for C.J. Beathard when he spent all 5 years of college with Greg Davis as his coordinator. And, oh, my God, that just led to a crap storm on Twitter.
Yeah.
You suck.
You have to give him credit.
No, you don't. According to the 15 season, none of that matters. All that matters is how bad he was in 16. And it's just, I should have known it was not worth it, because they're waiting out there on Twitter to pounce, and they don't just disagree. They question your manhood, your family, your reason for living. It's just Twitter is just, and you got some guy close to me like Dodo Big Bird. You know who he is, and he's questioning your reason for living on this earth. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Go ahead, caller. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That was my next point was what you said though. I was going to ask you guys if Damon Powell, and I just use him because he's, I think, one of the maybe faster players.
Oh, he was definitely one of the fast. Yes, without question.
Do you think Brian Ferentz would he'd be more dangerous with Brian Ferentz, I guess?
Yes, I do think that, but in fairness to Greg Davis, I think Brian Ferentz has got better pieces around. I mean, Greg Davis got here. They weren't very good. They weren't very good in 2011. They were 7-6, I think, in 2011. Now, Vandenberg threw a lot of yards, but they didn't win a lot of games, so it's not. And Greg Davis, I'm not saying he had issues. His horizontal offense was at times ridiculous, but I think he was so unimpressed with the personnel they had here, I think he overcompensated for it. I don't think he trusted it enough, and I think he thought, with this speed we can only go horizontal, and it was a nightmare at times. Don't get me wrong, but there's no way Jake Rudock and C.J. Beathard both make it to the NFL with the same quarterback coach for a majority of their career without that quarterback coach having something to do with that. I'm sorry. There's no way.
Absolutely.
No, you're right.
Absolutely.
But it's really cool to hate Greg Davis for some Iowa.
It is, but then you got the winning the 12.
He won 12 games one year. CJ made second team All Big Ten, and everyone loved him. You got to give him a little bit of credit, I think, for at times when things did go. They played in bowl games in 4 of his 5 years. And I don't know. It's not like the bar was set incredibly high before he got here.
No.
So, but no, Damon Powell, you're right, though. Damon Powell,
Didn't
James
we lose
Townsend.
all of those bowl games?
Well, yeah, but they've lost. They lost that, and they've lost. Let's see, they had lost 5 bowl games in a row. They lost bowl games.
Your point's a good one.
They lost the bowl game in 11. They lost the bowl game. They won 2 bowl. They've lost a lot of bowl games under Kirk. They have. They've won some, but they've lost some. I don't know if you blame all that on Greg Davis.
No.
Some of the bowl games they lost, the defense was just
The thing with Greg Davis was the horizontal thing.
Yes.
It just drove people mad.
Yes, and it was maddening at times, but, he got here right away and said in a subtle way, wow, we're really slow. Remember that?
Yeah. I got one more thing for you, and I've missed a lot of the shows, and I've been listening to them like the day after. Haven't been at work lately, and that's when I listen to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the last couple weekends of football, and you guys have talked about, Pat, Captain's saying that you're optimistic and you're usually not and whatever. Here's my question. If Iowa, I said to my buddy the other day after watching college football all day, there's some pathetic football teams out there.
Mm-hmm.
The defenses are just, I don't know if they don't want to tackle, if they're scared to get concussions, if they just don't, these teams don't care. And I made the comment, if if Iowa would just have their every year in and year out, above average to good, maybe excellent defense, if this offense could just figure out a way to average 31 points a game, I think big things could happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and you look at it this year, man, other than the Iowa State game, which, I mean, their defense, look what they did to West Virginia. They held TCU to 17. All of a sudden, man, it's looking like, and then you made the comment about the Brian Ferentz deal on Twitter, you know, being an aggressive play caller and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it last night, and he's like, man, you never know. I'm telling you, Iowa-Michigan Big Ten championship game, and Iowa's going to beat them.
Well,
38-34.
That means Iowa's 12-1. If Iowa's 12-1 with a victory over Michigan, some will say they're definitely in the playoff. I got to wait and see, because if Alabama's undefeated, Notre Dame's undefeated, and let's say Clemson has one loss, Iowa's not going to be in the playoff, I don't think. Will they? If Clemson wins the ACC with one loss?
Do you think the Big Ten gets shut out 2 years in a row?
Well, I don't know. I'm just going by – let's say Clemson doesn't lose again, wins the ACC, is ranked ahead of Iowa all year, and still would be ranked. How would Iowa get in under that scenario? That could very well – Alabama and Notre Dame could – I don't think Notre Dame's going to end up undefeated, but that could easily happen.
They might.
There's a way that Iowa could be shut out at 12-1. The people that
could.
say they're automatically in because it's the Big Ten, I don't agree. So there's no way Clemson at 12-1 and Iowa at 12-1, Iowa gets taken over.
I don't know.
Just doesn't happen.
I mean, hey, Iowa and Michigan might be in the Big Ten championship game, and they'll let Ohio State in with 3 losses. I don't know.
Well, Clemson does not have a loss.
They're going to feel sorry.
Yes,
They're going to feel sorry for Urban Meyer.
Yes, Clemson's already lost once. Who did they lose
Who beat
to?
them?
I believe it was...
No, Clemson's undefeated.
I thought
they almost lost.
I thought Clemson lost to somebody.
No, Clemson almost lost to Syracuse.
They did, but I thought they lost to somebody else. I'll look.
I don't think so.
Well, if I look something up, you guys are going to have to talk without me.
But part of it too is when the loss happens, who they lose to, and of course what everyone else is doing. No, Iowa's not a lock if we run the table, but we're not out of it either.
Oh, but no, I'm 12-1. Go ahead.
Clemson's undefeated. I got it right here. Clemson has their only tough game really is going to be North Carolina State.
What's their record?
Tough that's going. Their record is, I got it right here on the computer, but of course my screen's froze.
Don't they play North Carolina State this weekend?
They're pretty good.
Yes, they do. Clemson's 6-0, North Carolina's 5-0. North Carolina State.
Why did I think Clemson had lost?
Because they almost did.
But I had them down. Sure they had lost to somebody. Well, that even strengthens my argument, because Clemson could easily go undefeated.
I think Clemson's going to be in.
If Clemson's undefeated and Alabama's undefeated and Notre Dame's, but even Clemson, though, at 12-1, I think is taking over Iowa at 12-1, because it'll be above Iowa in all the polls.
I think Clemson's getting in almost for sure.
Yeah, but now if they lose a game here in the season and then lose the championship, nothing's for sure, but they are certainly in the driver's seat to get in. Definitely,
Agreed.
I would agree with that. And Iowa, it will be interesting, though, because Notre Dame's the X factor. Notre Dame at 11-1 will be interesting to see if that happens, because Notre Dame at 11-1 is going to be ranked above a lot of other teams this year, fair or not. I'm just saying they're already ranked, fifth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're 4. And Pat, now Notre Dame's got Navy, Northwestern, Syracuse, Florida State, and USC left.
None of those teams are. USC is probably the most dangerous, but this is not a typical USC team. They're not that good. They were 3-2 going into last week's games. I don't think Notre Dame's going to run the table, but if Notre Dame's good and worthy of a playoff, they should win all those games. The hardest part, Florida State is not very good this year. They're not. That schedule looked great 3 years ago. Now it's very winnable. Notre Dame's won its toughest games, but Notre Dame showed you last week against Pittsburgh that Notre Dame can be vulnerable. They're still that Pittsburgh figured out that offense a little bit. Notre Dame was lucky to beat a very average Pittsburgh team.
They were, but they
Real
did.
quick, then I'm going to get off, guys.
All right.
What do you think about how many points? Because Ohio State's weak spots to them D-backs. How many yards you think Purdue's going to throw for Saturday night
against Ohio State?
Yeah.
250-3, and I think Ohio State wins the game 52-30 or 52-28, something like that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't think it'll be much of a
That's
game.
the kind of game where Ohio, same thing with Indiana. Everyone's talking about how Indiana almost beat Ohio State. The final score was like 49-26 or something like that.
They were competitive for a chunk of the game, but
That's part of what winning against Ohio State is, being competitive for half the game. I mean,
exactly.
No, I would like to see Purdue win that game. I really would. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. We'll see, man. All right, have a good one, guys.
All right.
Hey, thanks a lot
Appreciate
for the call.
Yeah, I would love to see Purdue win that game.
Got an email from
I thought for sure Clemson lost.
I work at the Gentry Shop in Davenport. Anytime Suter needs a discount on a suit, look me up. Captain, I've been listening to you for 40 freaking years. Only he says the F word.
Well, thank you. It's very nice to hear.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I mean, Iowa has to win all of their games for any of that to be.
Oh, yeah, for any of that to be. Yeah, and if they win, if they're 12-1, they're a serious player.
And they deserve to get all the consideration that any 12-1 team gets.
It'll just depend on what's going on. Iowa at 12-1, I don't see any team from the Pac-12 conference overriding that. I don't see any team. I mean, Iowa.
What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, if they're 12 if Oklahoma's got the same record, yes, Oklahoma, because Oklahoma will have been ranked higher all year because they're ranked higher now, and if they're 12-1, they haven't lost because they've already lost once. Oklahoma would be another one. LSU's another one. LSU's only lost once. I don't think they're going to run the table. I really don't. But Alabama, I mean, obviously Alabama, Clemson, and Notre Dame are locks if they're undefeated. Any team would be.
Yes.
They're still undefeated, but I also think that Alabama, and I think 2 or 3 of those teams may be locks if they have one loss, too. We'll see. It depends on when that loss is. Let's say Alabama loses this week and then comes and runs the table and just rolls in the big SEC championship. They're going to be in it. They're going to be in at 12-1 if they do that. They will be.
And they should be.
Yes, and they should be. I mean, I disagreed with the people who said Alabama shouldn't be in last year.
Well, and they proved
Ohio
that they
State should not have been in last year.
Absolutely
You
not.
don't come to Iowa and lose by 31 points and make the playoff. I'm sorry. And not have that be your only loss. They had another loss.
No 2-loss teams getting in.
No.
Hi, you're on the air.
I thought you were going to say auction.
I wanted to get this show refocused. Pat, during that last caller, you talked about somebody touching themselves, and it reminded me of a really good joke. You ready for the joke?
Okay, now.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. It's okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know who.
What am I supposed to say?
Well,
goodbye.
That took long to.
Yeah.
That's a play that took too long to unfold.
But what was? I don't get it. Someone's got.
Well,
I'm not.
See, he switched it around so that we weren't going to know, because he started off saying knock knock, who's there?
But his delivery was bad.
But what does that have to do with me making a joke about someone touching themselves?
We don't know.
How about that
we
song?
didn't hear the punchline.
We can't play that song because of freaking YouTube.
No, we'll shut it down. We'll shut it down. I told Molly. You wrecked YouTube.
YouTube is so silly. I mean, just please. We can't even play the Divinals. 2 seconds of.
Hey, it's not YouTube's fault. Talk to these miserable leches in the music industry. Hello. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, that was good.
Sending us a message.
Yeah.
Keep me waiting. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you look back. Oop, did I just violate it there?
Hit the road.
Who sang that?
No,
Ray
Charles.
He did the original version of that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
that is a great song.
Yeah, it is.
That is a really good song.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
You know, I meant to call earlier when you were talking about Purdue scares you, and they should. I mean, you got to think back. We have had such an intense rivalry with Purdue for years.
Well, they're our most hated rival.
Now, I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or if
sarcastic.
Is this sarcasm?
Yes.
We beat Wisconsin 17 years in a row. That's not they didn't do anything until they got Bernie. It is sarcasm.
Okay. Because Purdue did beat Iowa 22 years in a row, didn't they?
It wasn't quite that many,
but it was like
it was
that.
A lot.
It lasted till about the mid '80s, didn't it? I thought they had Iowa.
It was a lot.
They had Iowa's number for a while,
and just like we had Wisconsin.
But I mean, we can joke about it, but people, we need to remember Purdue beat Iowa at Kinnick last year, so it's not like this is that unusual of a thing. Should it happen?
Oh, this is.
I mean,
I got some
they're
breaking
not very
news
far
here.
away from, yeah.
Wait, we got breaking news.
Got some breaking news here. University of Iowa tight ends Noah Fant and T.J. Hawkinson share the honor as the John Mackey tight end of the week for their play in their 42-16 win at Indiana last Saturday.
Well, congratulations
So that's cool.
to them. Well deserved. Go ahead, caller.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Oh,
Richard Baldwin von Mauer Jr. has died.
Passed away. Yeah, I saw that.
That's the guy who started Von Mauer?
Yeah.
He's probably passed away rich.
Was he 86?
86.
Somebody in his family's
He's
sad, but also probably...
He left a note saying, I have...
He's going. I know. I see it. I see it. Nope, I shot it.
Oh, what's it
You're,
going?
that was going
Yeah.
1600.
I wasn't going. No, it
Suter.
was going to your hiccup.
All right. All right. I'll give you that.
Forget it. You ruined the whole thing. No, it wasn't going 1600.
Now we got this hiccup thing.
No,
that's
but you know something? After he passes, they could put him in the studio.
As the operator?
As the operator of the phone.
All right. Good recovery.
His funeral was supposed to be in Iowa City, but they moved it to Coralville.
Well, that's...
I don't know what that means, but hey.
Von Bauer. Von Bauer.
Oh.
Good
one,
get it.
Tommy.
There you go. That deserves a rim shot.
Yeah, that was good.
There you go. Oh, man, did you hear that?
Yeah, that was... I thought you were in a band.
I was not a percussionist.
I do like you guy just grabs the tambourine and gets on stage.
I could see Simon do. Now, Tom, was alcohol involved?
Oh, my, yes. Oh, good Lord.
Hello.
Hey, I'm calling back to try my knock-knock joke again.
All right.
All right.
Can we try?
All right.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're supposed to say, I don't know who.
I don't know who.
I don't know who would call the gym class. You're right.
Okay.
All right, now, Captain, that just climbed up the ladder of calls.
That was good.
One of the greatest calls we've ever fielded on this
That was
show.
worth a recall.
Yes,
That
it
was good.
I'm sorry.
Here it is.
I apologize.
What
I
time
thought
is
it was going in a...
I thought it was going in a sexual direction.
I thought it was a sexual,
Yeah.
deviant, mean direction.
Yeah, mean.
Tom, look at the time. It's
We've been getting calls. Oh,
true.
we've been getting calls.
No, you're
all-
right. This one, they started
morning.
earlier.
Yeah.
They give us those first 15 minutes to get going.
I think we just wear people out, and then by the time 3 o'clock comes around...
I think it's people don't want to hear us, so they just call so they can hear themselves. All right, what do you got? Hello, you're on the auction.
Knock, knock.
Oh,
who's there?
It's Southern Justin.
It's Southern Justin who?
Southern Justin from Burlington, Iowa.
Jeez.
I tried.
Oh, my God. Man, now I'm hungry. Are you hungry? Wait, Justin, you got to wait. They're both laughing so hard they can't. Captain.
You gotta take control of this one, Captain.
This is your call, Captain.
Jesus. You bring me home, Jesus. I've done this too long.
Hey, are you going to bring some pepperoni and sausage pizzas up for the Nebraska game?
I'm waiting for you and Dog and everybody to come down to Burlington.
I know. We keep running into scheduling conflicts.
Because wasn't it you, Dog, and Tommy, and Captain? And,
No, not Captain.
And I think
Captain's busy that
And I
day.
think
Yeah,
Feeney and
I
Richard
got a big
were,
meeting that
I think
day.
Feeney and Richard were going to go too, weren't they?
Feeney was.
What are the odds of Richard?
Hunter's going.
What are the odds of Richard
I got
going
a big meeting at
Big zero.
the Turkish Saudi consulate.
What are the odds of Podasky going down to Burlington with that crew?
Zip.
And I tell you what, it's a pretty cheap meal too. So
yeah,
it's about $8.
Well, Justin, these guys have said your pizza's good, and you guys don't even advertise, so that must mean it must be good.
Hunter, you need to organize this trip.
If I have some Southern Justin fans from Iowa City come down to Burlington, it ought to be good.
All right.
Well, pizza sounds good.
There is some pizza on the menu.
Well, let's hear it.
Well, today for City High, they will be having scalloped potatoes and ham, fiestada pizza, bean and cheese burrito enchilada style, fresh salad, Spanish salad, fresh oat homemade and fresh kiwis. Burlington, Iowa Elementary will be having mini corn dogs with a tri-tater. Garden salad and diced pears. That was Burlington Elementary, not Burlington Middle School's mini corn dogs, tri-tater, garden salad, and diced pears. Burlington High School, a chili crispito with tater tots. Salsa, whole pear, apple juice cup, and string cheese. And Burlington Notre Dame Nike's a chili crispito.
I want to go
Salsa,
home.
tater tot, string cheese, whole pear,
go down to
and apple juice cup. And that's what's menus on the Mighty 1630 KCJJ.
That's probably.
Thank you.
That's. What now? What did I miss?
So it's me, Hunter, Dog, and Lang. No, Molly wants to go.
Were you able to hear what I just?
Yes.
Oh,
I purposely.
Let's take this important phone call, Steve.
I thought I was off the air. Suter asked me a question, but I was exaggerating. I'm not. I would not take
whatever you say. Hello.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
I missed what Steve said quite a bit earlier. Steve, did you say that they're selling ads for the gym class at Goodwill?
Jesus. My God, this is an all-out assault. This is like Dresden. I mean, it's just
meow.
I mean, there's nowhere to hide.
Hello.
That was pretty snarky. Wow. Hey, I'd go down to Burlington and have pizza.
Okay. That'd be great.
I'd kind of like to see where Justin lives, and I might stick around later that night and strangle him to death in his sleep.
Jesus.
Well, that's black.
Hear me out. I used to be the favorite caller on here, calling with history and birthdays and rock concerts I've been to, and that no good son of a bitch picks up a menus thing, and all of a sudden he's calling national programs. Well, Dirk's in the dust here. I'm going to take care of that one of these days. I'll tell you what. He's not long for this world. I have anything to do about it. And Ackerman, you're number 2. I heard what you said too. I got a lot of built-up animosity, and it's about ready to come out. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm as good-natured as anybody has ever been in the whole world. You ever heard me say a bad thing about anybody? I mean, ever. Have you, Pat?
No.
And you, Suter, you never. I mean,
no.
There might have been a couple of other ad sales people that I didn't like. That's one big fat lady.
Well, touche.
Other than her, I mean, I've been a Boy Scout all my life, and now I got Justin. And freaking everybody's after me. I've had it.
He has had it. Wow. That was harsh.
Greatest podcast ever, Pat.
Yep. Everything you want to know about the Hawkeyes and then some.
And then some.
The key being and then some. But like we've said before, I mean, how much can you break down a game that takes place once a week? I mean, we break it down 4 times a week, and sometimes we get distracted.
Hello?
But we've had people call in with legitimate questions, and we break it down.
Yeah,
we break it down.
We're breaking down.
We're breaking it down.
We're breaking down. Hello?
Legitimate question. Can you break down Iowa State's halftime marching band performance on Saturday? Did you see that?
I did not see
Did
that.
not see
what
that.
they do.
Is that the thing with the dinosaurs?
The dinosaurs. They did the Jurassic Park thing, and they had all of these band members in dinosaur uniforms, and they were the dancing dinosaurs. And then there was one guy with like riding the dinosaur, like a Barney thing or something.
I find that kind of funny just
Hey,
by description.
Riding the dinosaur, is that a euphemism?
Yeah, we used to say
I
that
don't
in high
know,
school.
but whatever you're doing, Matt Campbell, black uniforms, marching, dancing dinosaurs, it's working.
I agree. I mean, are you an Iowa fan?
Of course I am.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I don't think it's wrong. I mean, I think Iowa fans can acknowledge that.
They have to.
I mean, I understand the black uniform thing bugging. Even though I hadn't thought about it, I'm not knocking those, but I agree more with your opinion, sir.
Actually, I did comment to Ann about the black uniforms. I just commented at the beginning. I said, well, that's not even one of their colors.
I did wonder about that, but I didn't want others.
But I don't care.
But I didn't think right away they're just doing this to rub it into Iowa. I
No,
did not think that.
no.
It was weird, though, that's not one of their colors. But no, the dinosaur thing,
No,
whatever.
I mean,
part of it's
whenever
having
they can,
fun.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a show.
Yes.
And I don't think that Matt Campbell has anything to do with the band's halftime show.
No.
In all
I'm
fairness.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But no,
I'm
but
making light
I
of it,
think
but
what you can
should
say,
go-
though, is he is generating energy and electricity around to where people are willing, hey, let's do this. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that may be part of it.
For sure.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying I was kidding that he had anything to do with the halftime show, but you should go watch it because it's really funny.
Oh, I would like to. I think it sounds like something like maybe like
Look
your
it up.
grandkid would like watching. It sounds like something somebody ate.
It was very.
You saw it.
Yeah,
watched.
it
Okay.
was. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It was impressive.
I did like their uniforms, though. I did.
Yeah, I
I'm
did
not.
too.
I've never been. I don't like Iowa State's uniforms when they're away, when they're all white with just a little. I don't like those. But I thought those were neat. But it was now. Do they have a little bit of black in their trim? Don't they I thought maybe they. I know they've got the cardinal and the white and the gold, but I thought they had a.
When
maybe I'm wrong. I've been
when
wrong.
they play us, I hate them. Otherwise,
Yeah, I don't.
You don't want.
I mean, I want Iowa to win, and I will
Yeah.
admit, Iowa State fans, there does seem to be a lot that are waiting to pounce on anything adversity-wise or negative-wise on Iowa. Because I remember when I tweeted last year that I had Josie Jewell as my third vote for the Heisman Trophy, a guy who was a unanimous first-team All-American who was great at his position. The fact that I didn't vote for a skill player or something, I guess, meant, and the only fan base to complain about it was Iowa State fans. They just were lit saying, well, if you're going to go with that stupid thing, you should have voted for Joe Lanning. No, as great as Joe Lanning was, he wasn't a unanimous first-team All-American.
Nope.
That's why I gave Josie that. I'd watched him play, but it just lit a fuse with some Iowa State fans. That's when I get sick of Iowa State. When they do that, that feeds the little brother complex.
It does, and that's Twitter just
It's
get
a
into
cesspool.
ridiculous skirmishes.
It
with
can be
people,
good.
and-
It's very good. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
fun people I connect with on Twitter, and
Absolutely.
I'll be the first to admit I'm not real active on Twitter. I follow like 62. I'm not real active with it.
Last night, Twitter went nuts over the YouTube outage, and people are, and it went out. We were having trouble with it yesterday. Everybody was. So it goes out at night, and and you go to Twitter. People that have subscribed to the TV channel, I want my money back. I just subscribed this thing. How many times? The last time Twitter was down was 2011.
God, my MediaCom goes out.
Yeah,
and I have to fix it. I mean, I can fix it. You go down, you unplug 3 things, you wait 15 seconds, and it almost always works. But still, that's annoying. It's just the world we live in.
That isn't MediaCom's problem as much as it's the internet.
Yes, and that's why I'm going down to the basement and fixing it and
Yeah.
never calling MediaCom.
Yeah.
But it's not doing it as much. It goes out maybe twice a month, about every other week. I'll see the big yield sign when I turn my computer on. Then I just know I have to go down and either restart the
Mine's
modem.
about once every 2 months.
And it's just, you just deal with it. You get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
So,
But that's any provider's.
No, you're right. Nothing's perfect.
We have to do that here.
No, nothing's perfect. I mean, we still have trouble with wireless and what have you. And at Iowa for Kinnick football, we use Ethernet. And Ethernet.
Meanwhile, Hawking's predicting that we'll be able to travel anywhere in the universe.
Except for to
100
heaven,
years.
right?
Yeah, except heaven.
Yeah.
In 100 years?
In 100 years. Can you imagine if the damn, because you're going to get teleported electronically. So
Well,
the
Scoots
internet
ain't gonna be here,
The
so-
internet goes down.
Are you going to be in heaven? Not according to Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking, you're going to be.
I mean, seriously.
That's just depressing to think about.
He's extremely okay. He's.
I have
really
I have a couple really smart relatives, and they don't believe in heaven either. They're too. I always say you're too smart to believe in heaven.
know?
You can get so smart to where you don't see. Luckily, I'm dumb enough to where I still want to believe in it. I don't want to think my dad's not up in heaven.
I see my dad here, so either I've got a
Well, your dad's in hell.
serious
It's
mental-
probably your dad's in hell. He's here.
My dad's going, when are you going to retire?
Jesus. I don't get out of this place until you get out of this place. We see them both ascending up the
I
sky.
got to keep coming back to this damn station.
Do we have a call?
He can't ascend, he told me. You can't ascend into heaven until you accomplish something. And he said in his spiritly body, he can't call the gym class.
I saw it coming. But I didn't. Did you see that one coming?
Yes, absolutely.
I saw it coming. Are we making a caller wait through this?
Yeah.
That's what I love. Well, some of the stuff we make callers wait through. Hello, caller. You're on the auction.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hawking also said you can't go to the gym class either.
I mean, this is just wave and wave of British soldiers just coming over the hill. They just won't end.
That was spur of the moment.
All right.
I was moved by Captain Steve's comment.
There you go.
Gotta have fun.
Yeah, you gotta have
Yeah.
fun.
Gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Do
you have a question for us? Do you want to test our knowledge? I mean, Suter's just waiting to answer a question about Iowa football right now.
He forgot his.
Suter would like you to ask him about.
I'm ready.
You know, Iowa's using a 4.25 right now, and Suter wants to. He's willing to break that down on the air for you. They actually are using. They actually did use that.
I'd be interested in hearing Tom do that.
Well,
Pat will do a better job of the X's and O's for you.
It is a 4.25,
Okay.
but they basically move Hooker to linebacker, and that shows you how versatile he is. I mean, he's a good player. And
He is.
I was going through the depth chart the other day, and I'm not going to write anything on it because I don't want to get carried away with that yet. But if you look at that depth chart, I see 7 or 8 what I would call surefire NFL players right now.
Yep.
And we can go down the
I
list.
was gonna,
What's
I
that?
was going to say, Pat, about Hooker. I'm blanking on the kid's name from Michigan that was the
Michael
kind of
Ojemudia?
combo. No. For Michigan, the star player a couple years back that was a quasi linebacker.
Oh,
defensive back.
Jabril Peppers.
Yes, Jabril Peppers.
Yeah.
I think Hooker's got more upside. I think he's a better athlete.
I'm not know if I'm ready to go there, but I do see the comparison. I think it's a good comparison. They're similar. Peppers, I think, is a little faster, a little more. I mean, but no, and Peppers is playing in the NFL now. We'll see. I mean, I think Amani's definitely got a chance. I don't know if I would call him a surefire. I think I'll go, but no, I see why you would make that comparison because they also use Jabril Peppers as sort of a hybrid linebacker too. Very similar. Peppers was a little bigger too, but no, I definitely think that Amani's worthy of that comparison.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
let you go now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Captain appreciates it. But no, I'd go down the list. I would say Anthony Nelson and A.J. Epinesa are nobody's a lock, but they're as close as locks as you can get. Nate Stanley, Tristan Wirfs, Alaric Jackson. I think all 5, that's 5 guys right there who I clearly see someday in the NFL barring injuries. I mean, Wirfs is going to leave here a 4-year starter at tackle. Alaric Jackson's going to leave here either a 3 or 4. I could see Alaric going after next year. And he's a steady performer who just keeps getting better. And I don't see those guys not making the NFL. And then there's guys that you would put in that maybe that would be Hooker, and there's a number of those guys. But just the number of just guys who I think are surefire. I mean, there's at least 5 right there in that depth chart.
What about maybe Julius Brents already?
Well, Julius Brents is another one.
in the
He's so
discussion?
young. But yes, Julius Brents, if he leaves here as a 3 or 4 year starter, 6'2", corner, but yes, he projects as an NFL player. There's another one. There's 6. And I don't want to write that right now because that's just getting a little bit carried away. This team's 5-1. If they lose on Saturday, then it's going to be pitchforks and nepotism and Brian's daddy's boy. And
If we lose on Saturday, it's back to Ferentz can't
Sustain.
beat the teams they're supposed to
Can't
beat.
sustain.
Game has passed them by.
Play down to the level of their opponents.
There'll be a lot of that.
Yep.
Do we have a call?
No.
Oh, I thought we were making someone wait, but that was actually waiting for some legitimate breakdown material.
I think this whole thing has been legitimate.
Yeah, especially the menu part.
That's his fault.
We are going down there sometime.
He ain't.
I ain't.
Molly, me.
Are you making
Dog
Molly?
wants to go down.
What's up, Dog?
Molly likes pizza.
Dog's got some. She must, if she's willing to drive to freaking Burlington for pizza. Then does Dog got some issues?
Hunter or Tommy need to go down.
Hunter, what do you think of that? God, that was the quickest answer I think he had that answered before I even had the question out.
That's funny.
So when you guys have been talking about this for months, we need results.
I know I'm the only one evidently who's going to organize it, and I just haven't done that yet.
Didn't you say their pizza's not bad?
Oh no, pizza's delicious.
I mean, is it Sam's, Wig & Pin, that level of type pizza?
Well, no. I don't think quite.
No.
But
did you also eat it after a 2-hour car ride? The pizza set?
No, I think that was that was Napoli's.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I've had Mazzio's Pizza before because there used to be one in Iowa City.
Okay, that's right.
And it was pretty good.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, it's lonely old Grandpa.
Hey, Dirk.
Pat, you got any information on our starting fullback and his injury?
Have they said? They said he left the game. He left the game late, but they never did tell us specifically what his injury was yesterday. With Ivory Kelly Martin, we know it was a head injury because Kirk confirmed that they were in concussion protocol. Right. We know that Hockaday and Neiman had leg injuries, but I don't think I ever read, and I never heard specifically what Brady Ross's was, which makes me wonder if it's another head injury. And
I thought it was a leg injury.
But did he limp off the field? I don't remember him.
Well, the TV didn't show it.
But yeah, no, I don't think Kirk was specific on that one. But he did say that he expects him to be out at least 2 to 3 weeks, which is unfortunate because Brady Ross is very important in their running game, and their running game's being overlooked right now. That's why I wrote this thing today. Everyone loves this passing attack, and I do too, but if they can't, running the ball is going to make this team special. That's going to be the
Brady
one.
Ross is a pile driver.
He is.
He just delivers punishment.
And he's starting for a reason, and if you notice, and I'm not knocking Austin Kelly because I'm sure he's a tough kid, but they weren't doing a lot of rotating at fullback. You notice that?
I also noticed that his replacement got a touchdown.
He did. He did catch a touchdown pass, and he's about 5'10", 240. So, yes, he's a tough, hard-nosed kid, but, I mean, we'll see. That's one less fullback that they have, and fullback is big because Brady also does a good job of protecting Nate Stanley in the pocket.
Yep.
Right, and that was really important in that game Saturday at Indiana.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, and I thought when he went out, we started to have some issues with blitzing.
I don't even remember. Didn't he go out? Was it third quarter or was it fourth quarter?
I thought third quarter, but
because I don't remember the TV ever showing it, and obviously I wasn't there.
Well, they showed him down, and
they did, but
he raised his hand, and I couldn't tell if his hand was shaking, which at the time I thought indicated a stinger. But apparently that's not the case. It's a leg injury.
Yeah, and I don't know.
The TV didn't show him being taken off.
Saw him kind of limp off.
Okay, because I don't think because I thought about that yesterday. Kirk didn't really give a specific injury for Brady, and that may have been just he didn't do it. I'm not saying that there was any calculated decision to do that. It may have just been he didn't mention it because lots of times when we ask Kirk, he'll tell us what it is. I mean, but all he did say is that he's definitely out this week. It sounds like he's out next week too.
Yeah, that's what I've read.
Which makes me think if they're saying that, it's not a concussion, because with a concussion, they're not going to project 2 weeks ahead. So, yes, it's either a leg or a shoulder. And if you saw him limping off, then it probably was a leg injury. So, obviously not a severe one if they say a couple weeks. I mean, there's a chance that he will come back. Now, Hockaday, I thought Hockaday was done for the year, and now he's probably not going to play Saturday, but he's going to be back. I mean, Kirk said that he was doubtful that he will be back Saturday, but it sounds like Hockaday will be ready for Penn State.
And is that a knee injury?
That is a knee injury, yes. But nothing was told.
The last play of that Wisconsin game, just a worthless.
Well, no, that was Neiman. Hockaday got hurt against Minnesota.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Neiman's was a knee, and he's back now. His was I don't know if Neiman's was specifically knee. I know it was some type of leg injury. Hawkinson's was definitely a knee because I saw his knee wrapped up at the Minnesota game.
You mean Hockaday?
Hockaday, yeah. So they will both Neiman's back Saturday, and I think in another couple weeks the linebacker position will be close to being full strength again.
Well, it was a great concern of mine going into that Indiana game, and I thought the linebackers really stepped up.
I did too. They were just clearly better than Indiana in every phase of the game.
Yeah. And would you say Maryland is a better team than Indiana?
Yes, more explosive, more athletic, but
a lot more speed.
But Maryland also lost to Temple and got just destroyed by Michigan.
Well,
so,
Temple's a good team.
Yeah, but they're not.
Well,
if you put Temple in the Big Ten, they're going to be lucky to finish 500. They're not that good.
And Maryland beat Texas early, first day of the
Yeah,
season?
they also beat Texas last year and weren't very good. Maryland's the most up and down, one of the most up and down teams in college football.
Well, and to give credit where credit's due, Texas has turned out to be a pretty good team this year for once.
They're winning
so
a lot
far.
of close games, and we'll see. I'm still not sold on Texas yet, but no, they're definitely getting better under Tom Herman.
And are we supposed to find out before the game Saturday about the Maryland coach's status?
I believe someone said it was coming out today.
Yeah, I think, next couple days.
Yeah.
I wonder how that... I expect him to be gone.
I do, too.
And I wonder if that's the case, how that will impact the Maryland team.
I think it'll help him, if anything, because I think a lot of those players want him out.
Well, if what they're saying is true, I would too.
Yes. Yeah, I think that.
Absolutely.
I think the players, it would be a bigger thing if he was retained, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I hope the fans show up for this 11 a.m. start. It's hard to
Well,
imagine
the weather's supposed to be
filling up. But
Isn't the weather supposed to be okay? 50 and.
I think it's going to be cold and
Kinda like
windy.
today.
And windy.
Fort Dodge Messenger ran a story interview this morning on Ross, out at least 3 weeks with high ankle sprain.
Okay, that.
Ross says possibly 3 to 5 weeks with surgery. Not out of the question if it doesn't heal.
Yeah,
Yikes.
and see that's what. Well, Kirk did say at least a couple of weeks, so that's basically. So
And what year is Brady Ross?
He's a junior, fourth-year junior, I believe.
Okay.
So that's his hometown paper.
Hey, our text line.
Way to get the scoop, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not there at the press conference yesterday. My guess is Fort Dodge must have arranged a phone interview, which you can do. And maybe Kirk did say it was a lower leg, and I just missed it. I don't recall it though. But yeah, no, that explains it though to why it's not a season ending. They're going to wait and see how it heals. We'll see. I still think he comes back, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. Captain, will you be celebrating Jim Seals' 76th birthday today?
Yes, I will by dancing on grave sites.
Is that part of Seals and Cross?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Celebrate.
You know, he's not a bad. He's
Suter,
pretty
start
good.
singing.
He's pretty good country singer.
Diamond Girl. Start singing.
Dun, dun.
Ironically, both he and Dash Croft's daughters have formed a band.
Don't they have a song "Play with Me" or something? Come play with me.
Okay.
That one I don't know.
Do is copyright infringement.
I know. How about who?
Gary Puckett is also 76 years old.
What did he
today.
sing? Gary Puckett.
You're
Young girl.
okay.
He's worried about
Billy.
YouTube.
Billy brought him into Ames. Didn't he at a bar he was?
At the Red Ram.
Yeah.
A lot of his song titles are very troubling today.
Yes, young girl, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that-
girl
There's
is
an
a
awful lot
woman
about
now.
young girls in his
Yeah.
song.
That's got some issues,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Stones.
Lady Willpower.
Hey,
They don't sing
George
about him,
Wendt.
they bury him.
George Wendt turns 70 today. Norm.
Yeah.
Remember the
Norm.
line, what's going on, Mr. Peterson? Let's not talk about what's going on, Mr. Peterson. Let's talk about what's going in, Mr. Peterson. Woody, pour me a beer. I love that line.
It's a dog-eat-dog world,
And
and I'm wearing milk bone.
That was another one. That show, once they got rid of Shelley Long, was much better.
Yeah, way better.
I did not. The chemistry between her, it just was way too much focus
No,
on that.
honest to God, Kirstie Alley.
She was great.
She absolutely, and I watched those
And
damn
she was
things on
hot.
Netflix.
She was so hot back then.
She was hot, but she was just the
Kirstie
character was so flawed in that show. It was just
It was great.
Yeah, it was perfect.
All right. You're back to your stage, Dirk.
Ziggy Marley, 50 years old
Tomorrow,
Wow.
people. That's a good
today. Did
song.
any of you see his concert at Hampshire in 1989?
I believe I did. I can't remember for sure. I'm pretty sure I did because it was right after that "Tomorrow People" song came out, and I remember.
Correct.
Yeah, it was okay.
Packed house, sold out.
Yeah, it was
great show.
Yep, I wished I would have seen. Seen his dad. Suter just shot himself in the head.
No,
I
I'm
know,
not
he's
a
reggae guy.
anything that ends in Marley. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
my
not
God, I
interested,
would love to
except
have-
for Marley's ghost.
I would love to have seen. How about Marley and Me?
No.
That's sad though because the dog died.
Yeah, I'm not.
Even
not gonna-
Marley and Me, he hates.
I couldn't watch it because the whole
No,
movie's
watch
building
it.
up for the dog to
Yeah,
die.
the dog to die.
I
I'm
don't
not
need the dog to
dealing
die.
with that crap.
I got an old dog right
I got
now.
enough problems.
I'm going to celebrate the 116th anniversary of the birth of actress Irene Ryan, forever known as Granny Moses from the Beverly Hillbillies.
I thought you were getting ready to say the Stones' first concert, but
no.
Charlie Watts' age.
Now here's one for you.
Well,
the
he dated
singing nun was born 85 years ago today.
Who was?
I thought that was Sally
the singing
Field.
nun, Dominica.
Oh, yeah.
Nika.
Okay, knock it off.
YouTube alert, YouTube alert. Air.
She was kicked out of her Dominican order and was ripped off by her record company, spiraled into depression, and committed suicide by taking barbiturates and alcohol, along with her lesbian lover.
Well,
Together, they
that's
killed
not good.
themselves in 1985.
So how old was she?
We can't end on
She
that,
was
can we?
51 years
How
old.
depressing is this?
Oh.
It's your religion.
Yeah. True. My religion's
My
got...
mom played that song every day, I swear to God, for 10 years.
Oh, God, I remember that song. Oh.
My parents didn't. All I remember is my dad humming "We're Too Young." They tried to tell us "We're Too Young" by Nat King Cole. He hummed that every day.
My dad would sing that, and he'd sing some damn thing out of the 40, all alone on the telephone, waiting for you. And when my mom died, Bonnie Reynolds on the air said, "Well, I heard your dad's with her," and I said, "Oh yeah, and your dad's singing all. I don't know what this means. All alone on the telephone. Freaked me out."
Well, somebody named Cyclone Mama just sent me a video of the band, the Iowa State band, and I'm going to watch it. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the nice things about Twitter.
Hey, the text line.
Twitter, yes, Twitter
The
can be
tweet
beneficial too. It can be helpful.
The twit line.
Not everybody on Twitter is mean and snarky.
Very true.
No, but
not
a lot of them are.
Mean is fake Dirk.
Yeah.
No, I thought fake Dirk was very black today.
Yeah, he went to very dark places.
Very dark. Scary dark
Murder
places.
Yeah.
Well, okay, now, real Dirk, wouldn't you like to as well?
Wouldn't I like what?
To straight
Well, basically, he wants to know if you would like to commit 2 murders. Is what he's...
would you like to kill someone?
No, I don't have murder in my heart. I'm a follower of Ziggy Marley. One love.
Oh, you don't? Yeah. Well, if Bob Marley were alive today, he'd drive to Burlington with a bone saw.
I would like to road trip with you all.
And we'd
I
see
think that
Southern
would be fun.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
We'd see Southern Justin walk into the restaurant but never walk out. Is that what you're
Never
saying?
walk out. And then like 13 people walk out with big bags, and then they repaint the consulate, every inch of the consulate. And then, they
These
said
are very
they
good
didn't.
people, Steve.
They said they didn't do it.
I'm so tired of guilty before innocent.
So let me get this straight. So we have Dirk, Dog, Molly, me, and Tommy Lang.
What about Pat?
You need fake actors.
Pat's not interested.
I'm busy whatever day you guys are going.
You need fake. He's got to help me. We'll be holding down the
Yeah,
fort.
we'll be holding down the fort here.
Yeah.
'Cause-
What about Richard?
well, he's mulling it over. Last I
Richard
talked,
doesn't like the smell of pizza even.
like
so.
pizza.
and I don't think he likes any of the people going on that ride either.
That's another story.
We could just leave the crust for Richard. Hey,
All
Evel
right.
Knievel, born 80 years ago today in Montana.
I remember watching him on Wide World of Sports. I'd be like, why was he doing that? My dad would be like, because he's a damn idiot. That's why, you'd see him jump and then he'd break like half his bones. And
I remember being greatly disappointed every time we watched him live on TV.
'Cause it
It'd be
never-
a major event.
well, wasn't he going to jump over the Royal Gorge or something one time?
Or the Grand Canyon.
Or something, and it didn't happen?
He was a con man from
Snake
the get-go.
River Canyon.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was a con man.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. Well, and he's not here to dispute you.
Yeah.
He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's on the menu for the
And now
tailgater
he's dead.
Saturday, boys?
Scoots is going to be in Minneapolis. So.
I don't know what the buddies make.
Captain, you're on your own without. Can you do it without Suterman? Can you tailgate without Tom?
I am 70 years old almost.
We've got turtle
Yeah,
soup,
I can't.
smoked
It's more fun with Tom.
turtle shoulder,
Turtle soup.
Turtle soup?
Well,
turtle
it's
meatballs,
playing the Terps.
turtle Schweiger.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't
But
want
not real turtle. But not real turtle.
Well, as far as you know.
They live a long time.
Is there really something called turtle soup?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
We have a gigantic, I guess it's a turtle, living under tower number 4.
Is it snapping?
I have no idea.
Reach down and see.
It
I
just looks
guarantee you that thing is a snapper.
No, it just looks up at you. It didn't snap. I didn't put my
Well, this is
hand
a
in
perfect
there.
environment with all the
It ain't
water.
living out there in the wild without the ability to eat something.
That's what I think too. So
Crush its bones.
Well, I'm
without a
sure
bone
that it's
saw.
eating snakes or mice or something.
Those
but
snapping turtles are scary.
I wasn't going to pet it.
You ever been around? You ever been around a snapping?
Oh,
those
absolutely.
Those
They
things are
hiss.
scary.
Well,
They will come at
Oh,
you.
they will. Yes,
And they're fast.
And they're yes. They
This
don't.
thing's huge. It
you
didn't
don't-
come after me.
Well, it respects you. It's your tower. He knows that.
Yeah.
This
Hey,
is
you're living on my land.
Yeah, it's your land. You're like
Yeah.
that guy in Jurassic Park.
This is South Fork to you, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I got to get back to work.
All right,
It's good
Dirk.
Chatting with you. Go Hawks. Beat the stinking Terrapins.
Yes.
We'll crush them. Run them over with a tractor.
Yes.
My score's 33-20.
And I was just going to give you mine to 34-21.
Okay. I think Maryland's going to. I got this feeling they may do something on special teams.
Hello?
I also got this feeling they may do something like scoring a pick 6 or something. I mean, they're going to do something. I think 2 of their 3 touchdowns, if they get 3, will be longer than 40 yards.
Hello.
That Seals and Cross song you're thinking of was called I'll Play For You.
Yes, that's it. I'll play for you. You guys have heard. It's
Yeah,
actually a pretty good
movie
song.
I guess I don't know it.
It's a pretty good song. These guys are just crusty and
They had a movie
narrow-minded.
soundtrack.
I mean, they're waiting to put on what's her Cindy. Hell, I can't even come up with it. What's her name? The one that you guys are always your go-to. She just came out politically.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, her. I can.
Your go-to. She just.
I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I know you do. That's why I said
I
that.
like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. All right, caller,
They
go
had
ahead.
that movie soundtrack for the movie One-on-One with Robbie Benson, the basketball player.
Yeah.
Jesus, God.
Remember that movie?
No.
I remember turning it on.
Why would I watch that?
Whatever happened to Robbie Benson?
Yeah, what did happen to Robbie? You're going to find out right now.
Yeah.
He kind of went off, kind of like C. Thomas Howell. What happened to him? Remember him, C. Thomas Howell, from Hitcher and The Outsiders? And
I guess not.
boy, that kind of explains it. He kind of fell off the deep end.
Yeah.
But no, thank you. That's the song I was thinking of, and it's not. I don't hate Seals and Cross. I'm not a big fan, but these guys would recognize it too if they heard it. I guarantee.
Perhaps,
they would.
but I did
I'm just
not see that movie.
I'm not doing it. And I did see because
Wow, he looks like he's a devil worshiper.
the coach and his coach from college also was in. He was also the guy who assigned Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. He's been in tons of movies. He was also the sheriff in Tank with James Garner, which I think is a great, fun movie. You've seen the guys.
Robbie told that coach to take a red-hot poker stick, and you know what?
Yep, he did. Robbie Benson's only taken so much in one-on-one.
Robbie Benson is 62 years old, actor, director, singer, and educator.
Singer, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see what he's doing now.
What did he
He
do
co-starred
before
in
that
the
movie
film
that
The
made him
Chosen.
What did Robbie Benson do before one-on-one? He was kind of famous by then. What did he?
Let's see.
You believe
he
it
made
was
his debut in Wait Until Dark.
Never heard of that.
His Broadway debut in The Rothschilds. He had
Didn't see it.
early role in Search for Tomorrow.
Didn't see it.
That's a soap opera, I think.
Yeah.
He was in Jory.
Didn't see it.
Jeremy.
Didn't see it.
And Ode to Billy Joel.
That one. I think that was one of the first movies he did. Did he do that before one-on-one?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Robbie Benson was kind of like Christy McNichol there for a while
All right,
back in the.
keep going because I've never seen anything.
He was in Death Be Not Proud.
Nope.
And Lucky Lady.
Didn't see.
He screen tested for Star Wars as Luke Skywalker, but didn't get it. Then he starred in One-on-One.
Didn't see.
He starred in a motion picture, One on None, about the phone screener at the gym class. Then he starred in The End and Ice Castles.
He was a skater.
Yeah, I haven't remember any of this crap.
I have never seen a single thing.
What's his net worth?
That he was in.
He was in Die Laughing, Tribute. He's the voice of the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
That probably made him some money.
Okay, that I saw.
Yeah.
Well, that probably made him some money.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get his net worth, and then I
Okay.
think once we get Robbie Benson's net worth, we're complete as a show.
Never seen 1 second of him on screen.
One-on-one, though, that was his big.
That one-on-one, if you saw it against Suter, you might remember it.
But I haven't seen it, so it couldn't
what
be
do you
again.
think? That says his net worth is $2 million.
That's okay.
That ain't $2 million.
You think it's more or less?
Well, it's more than that.
Okay.
Huh.
It's more than that.
Well,
Wouldn't
have a
mind.
good day, guys.
All right,
Hey,
thanks,
thanks for the call.
Tour down.
Yeah, I've never seen a moment of Robbie Benson, so there you go.
You wouldn't recognize him now. I mean,
Well, I wouldn't recognize him ever because I've never seen him.
This station is so effed up. Hello.
I heard you talking about going down to Burlington. I was wondering, is somebody else going to pick up the check, or how are we doing that?
I think we'll be going Dutch.
I guess I'm busy. And I talked to Richard. He said if Dirk's going, he's out.
Yes.
Allhawkeyes.com. Get your subscription today.
Goodbye, everybody.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada.